please stop talking about Ilia Topuria as a 145-pounder. He's no longer a 145-pounder. It'd be like if you were to take me back to the time he was in first grade. He's no longer in first grade. It'd be like if you try to do an article and tell me about Ilia Topuria and that he wears diapers. He no longer wears diapers. I the foggiest idea why you keep speaking about it. He's not alone. When Jon Jones gave the belt back and moved up to heavyweight, he was welcomed with open arms. And it was never discussed that he was a light heavyweight again, and there was never a problem. And Ilia Topuria is just as successful with 2 less suspensions. Just to offer for an example. The idea that Islam Makhachev would like to move up to 170 is being met with absolutely zero resistance right now. Whether it happens or not, there's not a resistance to it. Max Holloway in the last 3 months went from 45 to 55, and nobody has complained. Nobody has questioned it. Nobody has spoke about Max, the 45-pounder. They're accepting and wide open to the information being given to them by Max, which is, I'm not cutting to that weight anymore. But for some reason, that respect is not being shown to Ilia Topuria. I don't know why. Ilia did everything right. Ilia could have sat on that belt for up to 12 months. And being a champion, per every contract I've ever had, I haven't seen Ilia's contracts. I could be assuming, but every contract I ever had a specific clause on what you were going to be paid if you were champion. And it wouldn't matter if you got beat or you gave it back. You've either got the belt or you don't per the contract. So you see where it is very relevant to recognize and give Ilia a pat on the back for doing the right thing. He could have held up a locker room. He could have held up a division. He would have had a financial interest in doing those very things. He could have tried to get a title fight at 155, so you got the 45-pounder versus the 55-pounder, which our industry then calls a super fight, even though there's nothing super about that fight, but that's still how the game is played. He could have done a lot of things, but he didn't do it. He knew he wasn't going back to that weight. He didn't want to hold up the boys. He created an opportunity for Volkanovski and Lopez. Ilia Topuria did everything right. And when you do everything right, you get rewarded. And we're speaking about him for should he be a number 1 contender? Should he get the belt? Now, things are a little complicated, though. While the answer is yes, and while you could not reasonably sell me on a better idea, I still can't completely tell you yes, because it does get murky in that Islam has already done this dance not once but twice. And it was different. Volk still had the belt. Volk was pursuing champ status. Volk was pursuing something that his opponent could not get, and that's not how this sport is played. The way this sport is played is all your chips are in. If you're undefeated, your undefeated record's on the line. If you're a champion, your championship is on the line. That's how this sport is played. But there is nuances to some of the rules, and by the way, Volk took advantage of them. If Volk loses, he wakes up the next day champion of the world. If Volk wins, he wakes up double champion of the world. If Islam loses, he wakes up nothing the next day. Not even guaranteed a rematch for his own belt because the guy that he dropped the belt to might be going down and defending in a different weight class. I mean, it's a mess. It's a risk. And he did it. He did it not once. He did it twice. And there is a reason where Islam would look at Ilia and then look back at the company and say, you have a rankings committee. If you feel an undisputed, undefeated world champion is worthy of number 1 contendership, you had the chance to say so Tuesday at 9 a.m. And you didn't. You didn't even say he was the next best thing. You didn't even put him at 3rd. You didn't even put him in the top 5. You didn't even put him in the top 10. You didn't even put him in the top 15. So for you to call me and tell me you believe he's the number 1 contender, I've got it in print from you already that you don't think that. it gets a little complicated. It really does. It gets a little different. But it's still just a conversation, complicated or not. Complicated or not. This is the undisputed champion of the world. He's now in your division. There's nobody with a resume better, not to mention our other options are all guys who you've already faced, aside from Gaethje, who happens to be your friend. And the whole reason you're pining to get Gaethje is to get a friend a payday. It's the right move. It's a slick move. You just can't get caught doing the move. And we've caught you. So your opponent is going to be Ilia Topuria. Do we all understand? And I'm not certain at this point in time the answer to that very obvious rhetorical question is yes.